Imagine walking into a room full of noise, people talking over each other, sharing every thought, explaining every move. Now imagine someone in the corner, silent, observing. They're not lost. They're in control. Because while everyone else is busy broadcasting, they're learning, calculating, waiting. That's not weakness. That's power. We live in a world that rewards volume. Say more, post more, share more. But if you've ever felt overwhelmed by all of it, like you don't fit into that rhythm, maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe it's your advantage. Silence is a strategy, a tool. And when used deliberately, it speaks louder than words ever could. Here's the thing, when you talk constantly, you give people a blueprint. Every thought you share, every plan you reveal, it's like handing out a map to your inner world. Some people will use it to understand you. Others, to outmaneuver you. Silence, on the other hand, keeps that map hidden. Let's break it down. First, silence protects your flexibility. The second you say, "This is my plan," you're boxed in. Change direction, and suddenly you're inconsistent. Stay silent, and you can adapt without explaining yourself. You stay unpredictable, and in a strategic world, unpredictability is strength. Second, silence forces others to reveal themselves. People hate silence. In meetings, conversations, negotiations, the pause gets heavy, uncomfortable, and in trying to fill it, people talk. A lot, often more than they should. You, meanwhile, learn everything without giving anything in return. Third, silence builds authority. The person who talks the least often gets listened to the most. Why? Because we assign value to scarcity. If you only speak when it matters, your words hit harder. You don't need to prove anything. Your silence becomes the proof. Now, if you're neurodivergent, maybe you're used to processing things differently. Maybe social noise feels like static. Maybe you've been told you should speak up more, or be more transparent. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Not everyone who talks the most has the best ideas. Sometimes, the best ideas come from the quietest minds. And silence isn't just absence. It's a presence, a signal. There are different types of silence. The first is listening silence, staying quiet to absorb everything around you, letting others show their cards while you hold yours close. Then there's signal silence, choosing not to respond when someone expects a reaction. This creates pressure. People start second-guessing, filling in blanks with their own assumptions. Suddenly, you're in their head without saying a word. And finally, mystery silence, the kind that makes people wonder. You're not withholding out of fear, you're choosing to be selective. And that mystery, it keeps your position strong. Predictability is easy to manage. Mystery is harder to control. Of course, silence isn't about ghosting the world. It's about being strategic. Choosing when to speak, and when not to. Not because you're unsure, but because you understand that clarity isn't always power. Sometimes, ambiguity keeps the door open for multiple paths. And the best part, silence doesn't just protect your strategy, it protects your energy. When you speak only when necessary, you don't drain yourself trying to be on all the time. You conserve your focus. You stay aligned with your pace, not the world's. So next time you're tempted to overshare, to explain, to prove, pause. Ask yourself, will speaking help to just expose? Power isn't in how loudly you speak. It's in knowing when not to. And while everyone else is still talking about winning, you'll already be halfway there, quietly, strategically, winning.